Here are 5 class action lawsuits you should consider joining right now in 2024. Did you know that according to USAnews.com, that only 5% of eligible class action lawsuit members only joined the lawsuit? So you know what that means? That's a lot of money being left off out there. So if you think you may qualify for a class action lawsuit, watch this video. Remember, only apply for these lawsuits if you think you qualify. Do not lie to apply for these lawsuits. Other than that, if you think you qualify for these lawsuits, apply. It won't hurt as long as you're telling the truth. So before I get to the 5 lawsuits that I found that I think you should consider applying for, let's talk about what is a class action lawsuit. So a class action lawsuit is basically a lawsuit against a defendant or similar defendants out of the same instance of occurrence where you have a lot of plaintiffs who has the same type of claim against that defendant or those defendants. So usually you have one plaintiff who starts it, and then a few more plaintiffs join. Then you realize you have multiple plaintiffs that have that same claim against that defendant or those defendants. And so that initial plaintiff or initial group of plaintiffs are the lead case or lead cases. Then once the case gets classified as a class action lawsuit, then that's when you have a class of potential plaintiffs. And that's where the class action lawsuit comes from. And then with that, if you think you could do better on your own, you can withdraw from the class action and try to sue the people on your own. But honestly, 9 times out of 10, most people, once they find out a class action lawsuit has happened on their claim, what they're doing, then they just join the claim. And so the lead cases, they end up getting the most money. However, if you just have a standard claim, you didn't have to go through the hassle of going to trial and anything like that. You just put your head in the box and hope for a good outcome. The next you know, a year later, you get a small check. But hey, anything else better than nothing. By applying for these lawsuits, no one 100% guaranteed that you're going to get some money. You're applying to these lawsuits, hoping that the outcome goes good, then you may get some money. Then also, I think for this list in particular, the ones I've chosen, they have already been a successful outcome. Now they're just going through the process of collecting all the claims and approving the settlement. Sometimes you can join lawsuits before the companies even settle. And stick around the end, I will briefly discuss the process of how to join these lawsuits, and I'll talk about one of my favorites that I ever joined. And so, come on, let's get started talking about how we can get us some free money by joining these lawsuits. These lawsuits are not in any particular order. Number 5, the Macy's CVC bed sheet settlement for $10.5 million. I know, right? A bed sheet class action lawsuit. People really sue people for strange things, but hey, it's a false advertising lawsuit. These bed sheets that Macy's was selling claim they had a certain number of, I think, what does it say here? 3 count. These Macy's was claiming that these sheets had a certain 3 count, and however they didn't, so that's false advertisement. Macy's is claiming no wrongdoing, which you'll see as a common occurrence throughout this list, but they did agree to settle for $10.5 million. So you bought some bed sheets from Macy's between November 8, 2013 and March 24, 2023. You may have a claim for some money for the bed sheets you bought. I think you get $2.50 per pack. If you don't have your receipt, but you have the receipt, you get up to $7.50 per pack. That's the Macy's CVC sheets lawsuit. And I think November 9th, 2024 may be the deadline. I'm not sure. Check with a local lawyer in your area who's actually handling the lawsuit. This video is not legal advice, just in general info on these class action lawsuits. Number 4, a $32.225 million TD bank overdraft lawsuit. So again, this company alleges no wrongdoing, but they are selling for $32 million for claimants. And so this mainly if you have a TD bank account, and so you may have been given improper overdrafts. For instance, let's say if you have $100 in your account, you got a bill coming from $150, and you put $50 in there on the day of the bill, but so you think you're fine. I have $150 in there to catch it, so I'm good. However, next day you notice that you still got an overdraft fee, even though you put money there on the same day. And so a class action lawsuit was filed against TD Ameritrade. And what's happening is if you already have a bank account there with them, they will be just crediting bank accounts for those fees. Then you don't have an account with them, I think you could apply for those. Apply for that. And so I dealt with this before with another bank. I left Regis Bank because they was crediting, they was debiting drafts before crediting my deposits on the same day. And that just made me livid that I had a paycheck coming in on the first and they would debit the bill I rented on the same day and then turn around and credit the debit. So you had your debit come out first, then that overdraft, you didn't get a credit, and your credit not enough to cover the overdraft and the debit. Bam, you just in the hole. And so that's why I left Regis Bank. And I believe that TD Bank was doing some of the same thing, and that what led to this lawsuit. So if you got TD Bank or had TD Bank, you should definitely consider applying for this lawsuit. If you are getting value from this video right now, please consider liking and subscribing this video for more legal content. And I post a lot of shorts, useful shorts, and I hope to help you in your everyday legal life. Number 3, lens crafters OcuFit lenses for false advertising. So this lawsuit's worth $39 million. This is a big one. And so if you bought some glasses from LensCraft and you think you might qualify, apply for this lawsuit. I think they're paying up to $50 a claim. You just need your receipt though to get those funds per pair of glasses. So you bought 10 pairs of glasses over the last 10 years, you may be get $50 for each pair of those glasses. I don't wear glasses, but this is my best bet. My son does, so I'm starting to get in there wear a little bit. So this class A settlement is made up of U.S. residents who bought glasses from LensCraft, the OcuFit version from 2013 to 2023. So you bought those glasses 20 at a time, apply for this lawsuit. I'm gonna try to have the link in the description. And so this was another false advertising lawsuit. And so of course LensCraft saying, hey, LensCrafters saying, hey, we didn't do any wrongdoing, but we are gonna settle for $39 million. So apply for that one today if you think you qualify. Number 2, I made a brief short about number 2 the other day, and I'm going to apply for this one. I think I may qualify for it, but we'll find out. And so this one is the $15 million cash app settlement, and for I think a security data breach. And so Cash App has agreed to pay out $15 million to its customers who was part of the data breach, where customers' account and personal information was obtained without consent, or those who experienced fraudulent withdrawals or transfers between August 23rd, 2018 and August 20th, 2024. And so that time is just passed. So apply for that today if you think you qualify. I am. And so under the terms of settlement agreement, class action members can receive up to $2,500 for documented losses related to the data breaches, included credit costs, bank fees, travel expenses, and up to 3 hours of lost time compensated at an hourly rate of $25. So if you got a Cash App account and you think your account was hacked, or you may be a victim in those fraudulent transfers or the data breach, apply for it. See what you can get. And number 1, for all my people who file taxes on their own, Tax Act lawsuit. And so Tax Act has agreed to settle this lawsuit for $14.95 million. So if you use Tax Act over the last few years, apply for this and see if you qualify. And so just real quickly, Tax Act is a online self-service tax program. And so this affects people who file tax return using their product, Tax Act, from January 1st, 2018 until December 31st, 2022. All right. And according to the lawsuit, Tax Act violated federal and California state law policies by sharing user information with parties such as Meta, Facebook, and Google. Plaintiffs in this case argue that Tax Act share personal information with those entities without getting their permission. Tax Act has not admitted any wrongdoing, but they agreed to pay them $14.5 million. So if you got a claim, use Tax Act during those times, apply for it. You may be entitled to what, $18 per claim. So hey, that can add up if you use them over the last 4 or 5 years. Hey, that's almost $100. And so if you stuck around with me this long, I'm gonna tell you about my favorite class action lawsuit story. And so this is like 10, 11 years ago. I seen came to my email and said, hey, if you bought Madden for like the last 10 years on these consoles, Madden NFL is a video game, football video game, then you may be entitled to some money. I said, oh snap. And so I applied for it. And so I never forget, I had forgot I applied for it. And then one day I had needed some extra money to handle something, to pay some bill. And I opened the mailbox, and there you go, a $50 check from EA Sports from the Madden lawsuit, and I used that $50 to handle the little bill that I had to handle. And so ever since then, ever since I got a notice in the mail or my email, I apply for it. I probably apply for at least 2 or 3 of these a year, and I'll probably get paid for at least one of them a year. And it's small money. It's probably about, $1 to all the way to $100 per case. Like I've had some cases where I only got like $5 in my PayPal account. I always try to get to my PayPal account. Like I said, I have some cases where I got $50, some cases where I got 25. One time I applied for one from Straight Talk and got a little money off that one to my PayPal account. So it's always cool. And so if you see these come across your desk, apply for it. Don't lie, but apply for it, and you may get a little change. And it always comes in the right time. It helps. Now these cases I talk about today, though, these are just ones that I thought that was interesting, and I thought that a lot of people may be able to qualify for these. And so that's why I picked them. They're not in any particular order, so I don't think one's better than the other one. I don't think one's more slam dunk than the other one. But apply for it, see what happens. Like I mentioned earlier, you get a notice in the mail or your email. Apply for it. It usually always takes no more than 5 minutes. And a lot of times they have like a little code on there on the notice, and you put the notice online or you send a paper back. And hey, just wait a year later, you might get something. And so if anybody knows of any interesting class action lawsuits to join, put them down below in the comments, and I'm gonna try to make this video at least once a quarter or once a month. This video is for September 2024, so I may or may not make an October 2024 one. I might just make one each quarter, so I'm still trying to decide. Put it in the comments, and I will try to reply, and also I may include it in the next video, next class action lawsuit to join video. And also, if you want to learn more about the civil litigation process, I made a video about this, on how the civil litigation process works, explained by a lawyer. The lawyer is me, Attorney Dwayne Hobson. And I'm trying to have this showing up on the screen, so you should see it now. And so I appreciate you guys for watching. See y'all in the next one.